The Daejeons are back after a long vacation in Sao Paulo, in which they sip some cocktails, watch Secret Agent, and enjoying the Western hopium that we have been stuffed for the last couple of days. We are now back to the reality, and we are on to the road to Daejeon in MSI. And Mackie here to give you all the details, talking about every single game from every single league, six of them, of course, and give you all the details, all the blow by blow coverage, or basically just show you some stats and just talk about the games, which is pretty much fine, of course. So, a little update, of course. I went on YouTube this morning and I've noticed that I've lost a subscriber. Now you're always thinking, Akeem, you losing a subscriber. Is this worrying for you? And I said, no, no, it happens. These things happen, when it comes to YouTube and comes to all things, media and all kind of stuff. You're going to have some people that doesn't like your channel, people who likes it, and people who don't even care about it. And I think that losing a subscriber is just showing that, okay, the channel does not pique my interest. And I said, fine, fine. I am not here to pique your interest. I am not here to be your friend. I'm just here to do League of Legends and to talk about these stuff and just entertain you. And if you don't find this thing a little entertaining for you, there are billions and billions of YouTube channels dedicated to the same thing that I do. I just do it a little bit differently than you are. And that's not me disrespecting the other content creators across the space. That is not me telling you to go somewhere else. That's just me telling you it is what it is. You gotta take it or leave it. And if I get to 100 subs, I am going to do a reaction video with the coolest League of Legends plays to have ever witnessed. I've been holding off of that thing when I reach to like 40 subscribers. I want to do like 40 subscribers for 40 plays. But now, since we're in a little bit high up, of course, and we're closer to that number, I want to do all those plays and react to them and talk about them. So if we reach 100 subscribers before MSI, I will do the coolest plays in League of Legends that I've ever seen. Okay? That is my goal here. So we are 15 subscribers away from 100, okay? Please do your best to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that stuff. I went to my dad's workplace and have a birthday party. And after all of that, you decided that, oh, we're going to lose one subscriber because of that? You're going to lose one subscriber because of that. Because I don't have, videos to do. When family is important to me, then I'm sorry, man. The subscribers does not even care, okay? Family comes first, and that's all important, okay? Just keep that in mind. With that being said, I think it's time for us to bring back the League Daejeons. It's time to bring back the League Daejeons. Tell them how you guys are doing. How's your tan? How's vacation in Sao Paulo? Is it great? The vibes are great. The people do not treat you badly. All right, we're cool. Now it's time for back to all things League of Legends, and we're gonna kick off with the LEC. Now, the LEC was a wild one in terms of entertainment, of course. The first matchup I'll show you is Giant X versus Fnatic. And then, of course, MCoy versus Na'Vi. And those are day one matches. And then day two, Yep. So it's Giant X versus Fnatic, Koi versus Na'Vi, and then Vitality versus Common Corp. And these are all the matches I want to do. So, I will tell you the stats of each game, and then of course the 3 stars of the series, and then my team of the series. For those who don't know the 3 stars of the series, let me just tell you a little bit of sports knowledge that you can relate. Does anybody watch hockey? I think everybody can relate to watch hockey. I think some of the subscribers actually watch hockey. And if you don't know hockey, here's a little simple thing. After every game is over, they will give you the 3 stars of the game, the best performing players on that team, regardless. Actually, the best performing players on that team who perform well throughout the game. My 3 stars of the series is pretty much simple. I would like to look at the 3 best players from that team. Instead of just having to pick one individual player that shines, I wanted to pick the collective because I think in League of Legends, the collective is more important than the individual. Just because that one person gets like 20 kills in a single series and not die does not mean that this person gets all the first, second, and third star. every player gets their share of the load. Like your support did well, and maybe your top laner was involved in that fight, those kind of things. So I wanted to use this 3 stars to showcase the overall brilliance of that team throughout the entire series. And secondly is the Teemo of the series. It is simple. Teemo is one of the most hated champions in all of League of Legends. Well, next to Yuumi, of course, but I think Yuumi has been neutered to be never to be seen again in some parts. But Teemo has been forever in League of Legends lore the most punchable champion ever. And I am using Teemo of the series to show you the worst player on that team. The most player that's going to get punched at by the media, the community, and all kinds of stuff. It's basically the worst player on that team. So, and of course, I'll give you the game 1, 2, or maybe 3 pogs of the series, the player of the game series, to showcase, in my eyes, which player performs the best in that entire game. And how impactful is that player is in terms of percentage and KDA and damage, all that stuff. Now, the stats that I provided to you are from both gold.gg and rft.gg. So those are the only 2 sites that I'm going to use for this basic exercise. With that being said, it is time for me to look at all the matches from this weekend of League. And by the way, yesterday of League. So, let's kick off with Giant X versus Fnatic. And this is pretty much like the saddest case of Fnatic I have ever seen. I mean, you thought like last year Fnatic was worse, or last split Fnatic was worse. This is just absolutely troubling. So let's get to game 1. This was a Jackie's game with an Aurora with a 5-0-8 with a perfect KDA, 86.7k kill participation at a 799 damage per minute. That's the gold.gg stats. I think if you put a rft.gg stats, probably like, I don't know, 40k or something. Game 2 player of the game was Empress, who was massive on the Rumble. 7-2-7 with a 7 KDA, 73.7%, 73.7 kill participation percentage, 774 damage per minute. Let me just turn on the disturb. I'm going to do that on my phone. And there you go. All right. Out of sight, out of mind. Game 3 is Jackie's once again with a Akali. 8-2-11 with a 9.5 KDA and an 86.4 kill participation, 740 damage per minute. My 3 stars of the series are Jackie's with a 14-6-20 with a 5.7 KDA, 681 damage per minute. Jun with Giant X, 1-5-35, 7.2 KDA with a 215 damage per minute, but I'm not going to lose, damage for supports. There are supports, so they does have assists. And Lot for Giant X with a 13-8-13 at a 3.3 KDA, 608 damage per minute. And the team of the series was Vladdy with a 4-6-20 with a 4 KDA and 554 damage per minute. It was not a great series by Vladdy, but there are going to be some series that I will forgive the player if that player get absolutely gapped by another player in that entire series. If you get absolutely outperform that player in that series, I will forgive you. But unfortunately, consider Vladdy's reputation and consider the magnitude of this thing, I'm sorry, but he's the Teemo of the series. He was awful in that performance. He was not great. The whole Fnatic team was it was like Emperors was the only reason why they won game 2, to be honest, on the Rumble. But other than that, nothing too much to be crazy. And if you think that is worse for Fnatic, game 2, the second day against MCoy was even worse. Now, losing to MCoy was pretty much understandable. I mean, Fnatic's first 2 games are against the top 4 teams from LEC versus. I mean, what can you do about this situation? This, by the way, was casted by Hysterics and Dagda. I mean, both of those games were cast by Hysterics and Dagda. And Jojo Pin was absolutely a monster in this game. Game 1 with the Azir 5-1-4. His signature Azir, by the way, with a 9 KDA, 43% kill participation, and 35.2k damage. Game 2 was also Jojo Pin with a Lissandra game that was absolutely chilled to perfection. 7-3-12, 6.3 KDA, 86 kill participation, at 28k damage. And also, he's the first star of my team. 12, 4, and 16, and 7.5 KDA, 65 kill participation, 63.2k damage. For Yoya, he's also involved pretty well. 10, 3, and 24 with 11.3 KDA, 79K kill participation, and 35.4 K damage. Super 11, 1, and 18, 29. Woo, 29 KDA. I think that's pretty much right. Yeah, 29 KDA. 67% kill participation, 52.5k damage. And the team of the series was Rise Up with 13 and 9 with a .8 KDA. Yes, .8 KDA. Not even 1 KDA, .8. 53% kill participation at 17.8k damage. And by the way, those numbers are come from RFT.gg. So remember, the numbers are kind of different, but all this to say that Fnatic did not have a great week. And I made a tweet, ladies and gentlemen. I made a tweet that even though it does not get the rounds on so many people's radar, I think I have made the point figuratively. And I'm probably going to use it for my short later on to highlight the point, of course. And let's just see. Let me just see. Okay. Let me just see. Where is it? Okay. All right, this is for my profile, by the way. And let's see. Hold up. Where is it? I think I made a tweet or something. Yeah. Okay. It got a couple of rounds, but this is the tweet that I wanted to write. It says Fnatic is like a sports team. I don't know which kind of sports team, but pretty much a sports team. It said a once great team being eroded by mismanagement and poor performances that now need to be sold in order to be at least relevant. For anybody who don't know, I'm a Man United fan, so this could test the similarities. Because what does Fnatic and Man United have in common? Both used to have great teams. Both used to have successful. Although you can say Fnatic haven't been successful since the very first World Championship, but you could say that, okay, fine. But they are still one of the highly regarded teams in all of League of Legends by a country mile in League of Legends. And just like Man United, their neighbors, or in this case G2, are coming in and just usurp them from their hierarchy in their region, and in Man United's case, Manchester City, in their city. And Fnatic has fallen off. The same way as Man United have been falling off. Man United is simply like the Sir Alex Ferguson ghost that's still been haunting them, not doing well, and also financially not doing well. The same thing with Fnatic, since Caps left the team in 2018, they were never the same. Like, they got into every single mid laner that they know of, and like they even have like Vladdy and Polby, and now with Humanoid a couple of years, and none of them even worked out. Because of course the ghost of Caps is still refreshing their minds. And seeing that G2 has been doing so well in the last couple of years, including this year, by the way, in first stand, if you're Fnatic, you must be feeling so frustrated. And the worst part about it is that you are no longer in Fnatic in G2's airspace. Koi are better than you. Team Heretics are better than you. Giant X are better than you. Common Corp is better than you. You're not even longer like the second best team in your own region. You're kind of like, in terms of fan base, third or fourth or maybe fifth at worst. So it just speaks to how tone deaf the ownership are right now, and they are begging for a sale to be happening. They don't care who is going to own this team, as long as this team is going to be good enough to be relevant. I mean, it is hard time for Fnatic fans, and I feel you. I'm not a big Fnatic fan. I've been speaking about Fnatic like 3 years ago, of course. And trust me, I'll tell you one thing. Those Fnatic videos I said is aged so well right now. It aged so well right now to talk about this, because I'm worried about this team. I'm worried about this team. Forget about not making playoffs. They might make playoffs, of course, but beyond that, they might be like not good enough to win an LEC anymore. It has been 8 years since Fnatic has won an LEC title. In fact, they have not even won an LEC title since the rebrand. You know what happened in 2018? Shape of Water was the best picture in the Oscars. That's not a hyperbole. The Shape of Water, which by the way, it's a movie that pretty much aged so poorly, is now a Best Picture in 2018. And all the movies since then are either like not so great or pretty much like an instant classic, of course, in the next couple of years. And right now, Fnatic are no longer instant classic. They look like, instant ramen noodles, of course, being like, you put it in the microwave, you twirl, and it's going to be like an easy, quick bite. It'll give you some satisfaction, but it's never going to fill you up for the rest of the day. And Fnatic are like instant noodles right now. They're not going to satisfy you in the long run. And I'm worried about Fnatic because, of course, next week, G2 is going to come here. And, of course, they'll have the rivalry with them against G2. And we saw what G2 can do in the first stand, and they'll level up. I mean, yeah, Fnatic could beat them, and it'll be great, but it will not be like a big moment, of course, for them. But if G2 beat them, crush them 2-0, then I don't think it's no one's surprise. So I am worried about Fnatic, not only for this split, but pretty much for the rest of the year. And couple that with their Valorant team not doing pretty much fine, I guess, it is going to be a long way back for Fnatic to be relevant again. It sucks, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, moving on to some other couple of series. We got let's talk about Na'Vi for a bit. Na'Vi facing off against MCoy, by the way. And by the way, shout out to Mr. Kangas and Vedios who do the casting for not only this matchup, but the other two matches, of course, Heretics and Vitality and Na'Vi versus SK. So shout out to Kangas, of course. He's going to be commentating for the next 2 weeks, but I said his presence is absolutely felt immensely. I like the dude. He is a big fan of I'm a big fan of his, hosting and casting and all kinds of stuff. He's a great personality. Shout out to him, of course. Shout out to him. Now, let's look at this series. Rylich, and by the way, he is relishing the moment. There it is. Oh god, I was trying to make a joke here, but unfortunately, Relish just relishing the moment, I guess. So Relish from Na'Vi, Aatrox with an 8-2-3 with a 5.5 KDA, 55% kill participation at 635 damage per minute. For game 2, it was Supa with an MCoy performance on Yunara, 8-0-3 with a perfection, 64.7k kill participation at 821 DPM. Maintner for Na'Vi on a Gnar, 549, 3.5 KDA, 60.9 kill participation, and 672 damage per minute. For my 3 stars of the series, Rylich, 16, 9, and 16 with a 3.6 KDA at 494 damage per minute. Sam D for Na'Vi, 12, 9, and 19, 3.4 KDA and 593 DPM. And Maynard, 7, 6, and 20, 4.5 KDA and 511 damage per minute. And for my team of the series, it's a Lyoya with a 6, 9, 21, 3 KDA and 436 DPM. That is not great at all. Again, there's some exception, of course, that the jungler, that I will forgive this player if their performance is not great. Once again, Lyoya did not exceed my expectations. I was expected better from Lyoya to dominate them, but what Rylich was absolutely a beast. Rylich was an absolute beast in that series, and I think he was a typically new player. I think it's the newest player on that Na'Vi team. Let me see if I can do my research, by the way. Talking about he is. I think he's a relatively new player, and for Na'Vi right now, for having this win, it's huge. Taking down MCoy, one of the best teams in all of league going into this split, is huge. Absolutely huge. Let's see. Okay, so this is Rylich, by the way. And this is his first LEC split. Yeah, this is literally his very first LEC split. And yep, he's in the team, by the way. He's got a 2-year contract, and you can say that he has been doing leaps and bounds for this team. He's went from Aura Academy to Super Blaze Academy to Desire to BK Rogue Esports in the LFL. Actually, the LFL. Yeah, the LFL. And now he's here, and he's Turkish, which, by the way, Broken Blade, Armut, some of the best Turkish players came into the league. So he's another one of those Turkish stars that look absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I wanted to talk about his other performance with, by the way, SK. Now, Rioch was not the star of the game. It was Poby, and he was brilliant. 16, 8, 15, 3.9 KDA, 60 kill participation, and 96.2k damage. So Poby was brilliant. He deserved his first star. And his second game on Aurora was amazing. 10, 2, and 5 with a 7.5 KDA, 54 kill participation, and 31.5k damage per minute. He was brilliant. And then, of course, it was Rylage in game 3, who was go where he pleases on Dr. Mundo. 7, 1, and 5, 12 KDA, 71% kill participation, and 27.9k damage. He was also my second star with 19, 10, 22, and 4.1 KDA, 79% kill participation, and 58k damage. But I also going to give some love from SK, of course. Jopa on Ash, 8, 0, and 8 perfection, 80% kill participation, and 31.2k damage per damage. And this series was absolutely crazy. It was game 1, you could say that Na'Vi had the advantage, but kind of threw it away, of course. They did. And then it was game 2 and 3 was like absolute domination from Na'Vi in those both games. Paris was amazing on the support, 180 and 37, 4.8 KDA, 73 kill participation. He got 32.1k damage. My team of the series was Skeens, 8, 12, and 24, 2.7 KDA, 73% kill participation, and 58.8k damage. Yeah, Skeens was not in the races for this game, of course. He was not in the races for this game, and I just don't know. Yeah, SK coupled that with losing to Heretics, by the way, in which Shio was absolutely dynamite. He was brilliant on the Daejeon and the Shizwani versus Daejeon game. 7, 1, and 15, 22 kill participation. 22 KDA, by the way, 79% kill participation, 781 damage per minute. And then on the Sejuani, 4, 0, and 15, which is perfection, 76 kill participation and 494 damage per minute. And yes, Jopa was the reason why SK won. He was great on Israel, 3169 KDA, 75% kill participation, 1139 DPM. The fact that Jopa was the reason why SK won at least one of those games, it's a problem sign. It's a sign that is just showcasing that SK has so many problems. They are good, though. I mean, okay, I'm not saying good. They are good right now. Okay. They're decent. They're decent right now. But in terms of like closing out games and all that stuff, it's just bad. Skeens was a stinker of that series against Na'Vi. And Leader was also the stinker. 5, 11, and 9, 1.3 KDA, 50 kill participation, and 56.7k damage. He was not it. He was not it. And right now, if you are Mickey X, and if you are Mickey X right now, you're getting criticized because this was your team, by the way. This was your team. You build your team on the image of yourself. And not only you are performing so badly, of course, your whole team is. And Jopa is like the only shining brightly saw on that team. And right now, Fnatic and SK are battling to see which El Clasico team is going to be absolutely looking horrible right now. They're racing to see who's the bottom. And I cannot wait for that matchup to happen. If that matchup happens, count me in, man. Fiestas all day. Anyways, look at the 3 stars of the series. Sheo, 12, 4, 34, 11.5. 71% kill participation, 49.5k damage. Saren, 22, 3, and 19, 13.7 KDA. 63 kill participation, 82.7k damage. Ice from T Heretics, 16, 6, and 28, 7.3 KDA, 68 killed participation, and 95.8k damage. And Team Heretics look pretty good. They look pretty decent. This series against Vitality, though, their series against Vitality was the Carzy show. Like, Carzy all the way. It was brutal. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to do the casters, by the way. There you go. All right. This was not even close. This was not even a close series. Carzy was brilliant on Israel. 5-0-3, perfection, 80 kill participation, at 44.2k damage. And then once Carzy get like 4 kills on the Caitlyn, just dominate the Lulu Jinx bot lane. It was curtains for them. It was literally curtains. 7-0-3, 67 kill participation percentage, 34.7k damage. And then for my 3 stars, Carsey was absolutely brilliant. 12-0-6, perfection, 72 kill per division, and 78.9k damage per minute. Fleshy also gets some love, of course. His bar game in game 2 was brilliant. 1, 2, and 17 and a 9. KDA, 72 kill participation, 16.7k damage. Nako also gets some love, of course. 6, 4, and 3, 2.25 KDA. Actually, I think I should round it out to a single digit. 2.3 will be fine. 2.3 KDA, 36 kill participation, 51k damage. And for the Teemo of the series, Tracing 2, 3, and 6 at 2.7 and a 27.2k damage. I would probably give it to Ice. I would have given it to Ice, by the way. But when Carsey actually did this to you, I don't think Ice deserves a lot of blame, of course. But the top laner of, Heretics, Tracing was not looking great. Especially in game 1 when the whole thing was all in favor of Heretics. Heretics was just about to win the game. And then Carsey just scale, and the team scaled them, and then it was going hell in handbasket, and it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. So I think I cover. Okay, let me just see how I cover. I covered this, I cover Fnatic's demise, this and this. So, and I also cover M-Coin. That means one more series left, and that's Vitality. Vitality versus Common Corp was another absolute cinema. In fact, day 1 have all 9 games. Day 1 have 9 games. Day 2 have 5 games. And then day 3 have also 5 games. So in total, we have what? 19 games in the first 3 days of LEC. That is just amazing. Absolute cinema all around. Vitality versus Common Corp was I said it in a pretty good series, to be honest. Nako was absolutely brilliant. By the way, I put Nako as my second best star of the series, by the way. Yes, his team lost, but I believe he deserved more respect for what he has done in this series. I mean, he could have won game 2, of course, if it wasn't for Kalissa's Israel popping off, of course. And then, of course, game 3 was the whole team falling apart, and Yike was amazing on Nocturne. But Nako deserves some love as well for his incredible performance. So he's the reason why, given the exception of giving the second star, as probably the best performing player on that team. Maybe I could have put him as a 3rd star, but I already have Puzio in there. But this is my opinion, of course. And so I think Nako deserves some praise. For Nako in game 1, he was brilliant and renected. 5-1-8, 13 KDA, 68.4 kill participation, 702 damage per minute, 2 solo kills. For game 2, Kalist on Israel, 5-2 and 13, 9 KDA, 81.8 kill participation, and 1142 damage. This game was going way later, around a 42, 43-minute game, of course, around that time, and Kalist was absolutely dealing with the Israel. And Nako was nearly single-handedly winning this game. And then, of course, same thing with the I think the Navi SK one. It's the same thing with like the Heretics Vitality one. Once the whole team scales and Israel do damage, I don't think there's nothing you can do about that one. And then, of course, for game 3, it was Yike on Nocturne, 6-2 and 10, 8 KDA, 69.6% kill participation, 527 damage per minute. For my 3 stars, Kalist, 10, 7, and 25 with the 5 KDA, 6.868 damage per minute. Nako, 12, 8, and 19, 3.9 KDA to 575 damage per minute. And Busio, 5, 9, and 39, 4.9 KDA with 246 DPM. Unfortunately, my team with the series will go into Linkas, 6, 9, and 23, 3.2 KDA, 390 damage per minute. That is not good, Linkas. Not good at all. So, in terms of the standard, in terms of where we are with the LEC right now, let me just pull out the LEC standings. Yep. Let me just pull out the LEC standings. It's early days, pretty much early days. Navi is on top. Ginex, Carmen Corp are also having 1 win. And then Movie Star, Vitality, and Heretics only have 1 and 1. SK and Fnatic are in the dumpsters right now. And by the way, Shifters and G2 are not playing by now because, of course, there'll be road shows and, of course, they have a long break. So G2 will come back next week, of course. And I would say that this is going to be really interesting. Next week, Shifters will take on SK. G2 will take on Heretics. Navi will take on Vitality. Those are the triple header, of course, for Saturday. And then Sunday will be SK Ginex and then G2 Fnatic. I don't know if it's going to be a rivalry anymore, consider how Fnatic are right now. But it's still a rivalry to me. It's still a rivalry to me. Then Giant X versus Heretics, and our Vitality versus MQuai. So those are the next week matches, of course. Please stay tuned and for your channel for all the more shorts and all kind of stuff. And we'll be seeing how the LEC is done. So now it's time for me to look at another region, this time from the south. Okay, so we are going from the LEC to the CBLOL. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your boy watched some CBLOL. And for me, let's be honest, consider that CBLOL is not getting 2 slots at Worlds. Consider the, the passion that I have. Consider that, what happened in First Stand and all kind of stuff. Like, I need to give CBLOL some love. I believe that I need to give CBLOL some love, and that's why I decided to cover the CBLOL games. Although they didn't give you a highlight for them, they give you like a VOD version. But I do the CBLOL games regardless. I'm giving the CBLOL some massive respect. So, first series was Loud versus Red Cannons, the rematch of the CBLOL Cup, in which Loud won that series, but many people thinking that Red Cannons kind of threw the whole thing, of course, too loud in those 3 games. Thank goodness Red Cannons decided they're not going to throw these games. Thank God. This was a 2-0 stump. It was Kazi on the Ari, 8-2 and 14, 11 KDA, 73.3 kill participation, and 933 damage per minute. And it Steps on the Aatrox, 5-0 and 9 perfection, 82.4 kill participation, and 686 damage per minute. The 3 stars of the series were Steps, 14-2 and 20 at 17 KDA with 700 damage per minute. Kazi 11-3, 19, 10 KDA is 794 damage per minute. And Frosty for support, 5-6-34, 6.5 KDA at 421 DPM. My team of the series was sadly Young J, who, by the way, I think everybody expected Young J to perform well in this split, of course, after a pretty okay-ish first split, of course. 2-13-11 with 1 KDA. 1 KDA! And 328 damage per minute. That is not good for my jungler of this class. So, Loud finally takes a defeat, I think, for the first time in a long time since Envy come in the team. And yeah, Red Cannon showing up that they are still one of the best teams in CBLOL right now. I think it's going to be Loud. Red Cannon's Fury are going to be battling for the CBLOL Pride. That'll be fun. Next up is Furia versus Lost. Speaking of, Furia. They lost the loss. First off, Zest on Jace, 5-1 and 2, 7 KDA, 737 damage per minute, 58.3 kill participation. Tattoo on Skarner, 3-0 and 8 with a perfection, 5 and 8 DPM, and 73.3 kill participation. Dodo, the hyped up Brazilian bot lane, of course, he was clutch on it as well. 9-4 and 12, 5.3 KDA, 1333 damage per minute, and 87.5 kill participation. My goodness gracious, this guy was absolutely popping off. He's also, by the way, my first star of the entire series. 13-9-14 with a 3 KDA, 743 damage per minute. Ackerman with 4-5 and 29, 6.6 kill participation. 6.6 KDA, 284 damage per minute. And Drake Hero for 7-6 and 22, 4.8 KDA and 359 DPM. My team of the series was Toots from Furia, 7, 8, and 14 on 2.6. And yes, I forgot to mention Tattoo, who was brilliant on the Skarner, 308 perfection, 508 DPM, and 33.3k kill participation. And by the way, I think I like Tattoo. I think Tattoo is my favorite player on CBLOL. If anybody want to say otherwise, just go down the comments and just hate me, I guess. But there's some Brazilian fans who's going to be like roasting you guys until the comments. So, Furia, rough start, but it is what it is. Day 2, which is, by the way, on my dad's birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, my dad. He's 56. Actually, he is 56 right now. And I watched Pain. I think I watched Pain and Vivo Kian stars, of course, before I went to church, by the way. Miro Anya Kali was sensational. 6-2 and 5, 5.5 KDA, 61 kill participation, and 29.6k damage per minute damage. Dismissed in game 2 on the Aatrox, 4-1 and 12, 16 KDA, 67 kill participation, and 17.4k damage. But my 3 stars, Miro 11-3 and 20, 10.3 KDA, and 74 kill percentage participation, 49.9 kills K damage. Dismiss, Vivo Kian stars 8-3 20, 9.3 KDA, 67 kill participation at 30.5k damage. And Kai Wing 43829 11 KDA 79 kill participation and 17.1k damage. And by the way, yes, Kai Wing, the same Kai Wing from I think he's from CFO. Kai Wing's from CFO, right? Let me just check. It's always good to double check these things. Make sure my research is not as wrong. I think Kai Wing was on. Yep. CTB5. Yes, he was on Flying Oysters. Yep, Flying Oysters. Yep. Just wanted to make sure. So he was brilliant, by the way. Kai Wing. 29 assists. That is not bad. Consider this is his first year. Yeah, actually his second split. But I think he showed a pretty good performance on that. He was pretty good. He was pretty good overall. My team of the series was Scams. 0, 10, and 13. Yes. 0, 10, and 13. Not a single kill to his name. He got a 9-3 kill participation, which is great, but 18.7k damage. But no kills. Like, oh, that is... Like, I can understand. Like, you get 13 assists. That's great. But to not be involved much, it's just appalling. Especially for, like, I don't know, I didn't even look at the numbers, but I think he was a jungler. And let me... Hold up. Let me just see. Nope. No. Okay. Samkeys. I think he's a... Wait, hold up. He has to be a jungler. He's a jungler. Oh my god. Dude. A jungler with 0 kills. A 0-kill jungler in this entire series will be a crime against humanity. Yankos would have thrown you into jail if that happens. You go 0 kills as a jungler? Shameful. Absolutely shameful. Fluxio versus Leviton, by the way. Cody on Fluxio on Inari was brilliant. 7-0-7 with perfection, 82 kill participation, and 28.5k damage. And then Peach on Fluxio with the Zinjao, 7-3-9, 5.3 KDA, 73 kill participation, at 333.3k damage. He was my first star. Cody, 12-17, 14.5 KDA, 74 kill participation, and 62.1k damage. And then Peach on Flux on Peach, brilliant. Of course, in the jungle, 9, 5, and 17 with a 5.2 KDA and 67 kill participation percentage of 45.6k damage. And Curdy on Fluxio, 85, 8, 5, and 10, 3.6 KDA, 46 kill participation, and 39.3k damage. For my team of the series, in Enga on Leviton, 4, 7, and 14, 2.6 KDA at 47.3k damage. Yeah. So that is Sam's, by the way. He's playing for Pain Gaming, and he was awful in the jungle with 0 kills. If you got 0 kills in the jungle, you should be ashamed of yourself. So anyways, that is concluded for CBLOL. Nothing too much to talk about. Of course, week 2 will be the real serious stuff. And now it's time for some other League of Legends. Mostly from Tier 2. Alright, so in case many people don't know it, I decided to let a little light in from outside. It was a bit raining, but now the sun is coming up and decided to let a little light in. And there's a chicken decided to crow. Speaking of letting the light in, we are decided to let Tier 2 League of Legends in. So let's just take these off. Open. And it is time for me to talk about the NACL. Now, for anybody who don't know, I did some not so great casting for for those matches, of course. But I wanted to highlight and showcase the best of NACL talent is to offer, and this week shows. So we're kicking off with Sentinel versus Supernova. Music from Supernova, 9, 4, and 6, and 4.75 KDA. Bradley was also game 2 with Sentinels. Akali with a 9-2 and 9 game with a 9 KDA. I should put more numbers up, of course. No. And then from Shoji from the Supernova, Aurora with a 9, 5, and 10, 3.8 KDA, 65.5 kill participation, 1,179.3 damage per minute. For my 3 stars of the series is Music, Shoji, and Bradley. Music number 1, Shoji number 2, and Bradley number 3. And my team of the series is Ari from Sentinels. The next game is Blue Otter versus Dorado Gaming. Game 1 Pog was Munchie on Nocturne from Blue Otter, 5-0-7, which is perfect. Adam from Dorado Gaming on the Vayne. By the way, I think it was a Vayne mid lane. Vayne mid lane in game 2. That's bold. And he made it work, of course. 4, 2, and 6 with a 5 KDA. And then Munchie, of course, from Blue Order with a Dr. Mundo, 10, 0, and 4, which is absolutely brilliant. He's my first star, spawned my second star, and of course, Adam with an incredible Vayne performance get his third star. The team of the series goes to Hop. In the third game, by the way, NRG would take on Apex Mission Impossible. Fimo from Rise, 815, and then Zamudo from Zaid. He was supposed to be a line game, but of course, visa issues and Dokla take it over and pretty much stop that. But he was brilliant on Zahid. 3-0-3 with a 42.9 kill participation and 964.9 damage per minute. He got my 3 stars of the first star of the 3, then Fimo with the second star, and then Speaker with the third star. Retro Zing, sadly, is my Teemo of the series from the Apex Mission Impossible. CCG and Winthrop, 407 on for Cody-san on Corky. Then only 35 on Rakan. 1, 2, and 10 with a 5.5 KDA, 84.6 kill participation, and 236.2 damage per minute. He is my second star, of course. Cody-san, my first star, and Dodger, my third star. The team of the series goes to Zach from Winthrop University. It's going to get worse for Winthrop this week. It's going to get worse because Maryvale University is going to actually rule the week, let's just say. Before that, Sniper. We all know Sniper, former 100 Thieves member, of course, which, by the way, another being replaced by Dokla. My God, Dokla is really taking over some of the teams Anyways, his Aurelia game was brilliant. 9, 3, and 6 with a 5 KDA. Then it was UG, formerly of Team Liquid, by the way, with a Dr. Mundo performance, 3, 1, and 7 with a 10 KDA. And then Scary Jerry with a Corky performance was brilliant. 7, 2, and 6 with a 6.5 KDA. I think Sniper wanted to play Riven. Sniper literally played Riven in game 3, and it did not work. I give him points for trying, though, but it did not work. UG, Scary Giant, Obstinatus deserves the 3 stars, and then Meech for Conviction is my Teemu of the week. So those are the NACL stats and reviews. And there's actually one more. I want to do one more review that I did. This was the Division 1 finals, which, by the way, David Shynok kind of co-streamed this whole thing. And Maryville versus Winthrop. I did not get the stats for the second game between that, but May on Jax was absolutely brilliant, of course, in a game that was, how do I say this? Really chaotic, to be honest. Yeah, it was really chaotic, but that's just Tier 2 League of Legends. If you do not appreciate that, then go somewhere else. Spyrex on the rise, 8, 3, and 7 with a 5 KDA, and then May on the Jax was absolutely brilliant. They did not even bring on the numbers, but he was pretty much the reason why Maryville won that series 2-0 and are now still kings of the Tier 2 region system. And, of course, they will have another chance to claim the NSCL in a couple of weeks, of course, when they face up against Blue Order next week. For Winthrop, it's been a pretty brutal couple of days, of course, for them. So, that is pretty much all the League of Legends for this week. Now, LCK is going to come up tomorrow, of course, at the time I'm recording this. And then, of course, LPL is coming soon. Of course, LPL, of course, they have the EWC qualifiers for China. But it is time for me to show you something. Yes, the League of Legends thing is over, but I think for me, I wanted to show you something. Now, I know this is a League of Legends channel, and I know my sports channel has been a little bit dormant, but this is important for me. Now, in case any people do not notice, today is the last day for World Cup qualifiers. 6 teams will be joining the 42 teams that will be in the United States in a couple of months. 3 months from now, of course. Bosnia-Herzegovina versus Italy, Czechia versus Denmark, Kosovo versus Turkey, and Sweden versus Poland. Winner goes to the World Cup. And everything goes and all kinds of stuff. Now, Akeem, why this is personal for you? That is just the UEFA qualifiers. After the UEFA qualifiers, by the way, there are 2 games in the Interconfederations final. Iraq versus Bolivia will be the last one. Of course, Democratic Republic of Congo versus Jamaica, which is going to be the first game at 4 p.m. And why is this important? Well, here's why this is important. This is the 1998 FIFA World Cup tournament that it took place in France. And for anybody who don't know, I was born in 1997. This took place in 1998. I was 1 years old. I don't even remember the last time Jamaica was even in a World Cup. But it did participate in the World Cup. They did. They only got. By the way, that's just the final. That's just the final, guys. You all know France just won, just from the World Cup, of course. But in the whole group stage, by the way, we qualified for the World Cup. We qualified for the World Cup back in 1998, and to say it was a massive deal was huge. It was a massive deal. Yeah, we were not performing well, but then again, you face off against the mightiness of Croatia and Argentina. What are you gonna do? But we did get a win against Japan, which was incredible. It was Winmore with those 2 goals and Nakayama with the goal, and we got our only World Cup win to date, which for the longest time it was significant. But now it has been 28 years since we last got into a World Cup. And today is probably the most significant day in all of Jamaican sports history. I mean, you're hearing the Vuvuzelas are top. And for me personally, I really, really wanted to see Jamaica even make it to the World Cup. For once in my life, I wanted to see that happening. We honestly effing blew it in the qualifiers, of course. And now we have another shot to do it against a Deportivo Congo team, which, by the way, beat both Cameroon and Nigeria, which is no easy feat, of course, to beat both Cameroon and Nigeria to get even into the Confederation playoffs. It's a tall task, of course. But if that happens, and if we get to the World Cup, I will be the happiest son of a bitch in the entire world. You don't know how significant this is for me. And I wanted to do this by doing something that I've never done before. I'll be streaming this whole thing. So this whole thing will be on the Twitch channel, not on the YouTube channel, which, by the way, I do my League of Legends, but on the YouTube channel, by the way, the Twitch channel, by the way, I'll be reacting for this whole thing. So you join me at around 4 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Pacific time for me, you know, getting, watching all the rest of the qualifiers and get ready for probably the biggest qualifier ever. And for the next 90 minutes plus, this is going to be my happiest moment ever or my dread. Either way, it's going to be absolutely fun. So anyways, thank you all for watching this whole thing. Like, comment, subscribe to this whole thing. Let's just get to 100 subscribers so I can show you some incredible plays from League of Legends history and also make me happy, of course. And comment, Reggae Boys, just do us a solid. Anyways, thank you all for watching. LCK tomorrow and all kind of stuff.